walk, let's do the work. Get the word out, let's do all the work. If they don't accept a hire, leave them in the dirt. We just call that doing the work. Doing the work. Doing the work. Yeah, doing the work. Doing the work. Throw a walk, let's do the work. Get the word out, let's do all the work. If they don't accept a hire, leave them in the dirt. We just call that doing the work. Doing the work. Doing the work. Yeah, doing the work.
Good day, good people. Shalom, shalom, and welcome back to another Sunday rap session with NFNC, news and comments in conjunction with Major TV. I'm glad you all were able to make it back for another rap session. So I'm Coach Tamar, and later Major TV is going to be joining us to talk about his special reporting. So we have a lot of things to cover today, from Derek Chauvin being stabbed to Kanye West showing out on the video. We also have some important legislation that's making its way through a particular state regarding labeling and food packaging. USDA has weighed in on it. Also, we're going to talk about bank closures or banks being downgraded by Moody's. And we got a whole lot of other stories to cover. So without further ado, we're just going to go right into it. And we're going to start with breaking news about Moody's downgrading the banks. So I'm going to show my screen for you all, and we're going to just get the gist of what's going on together. So it says here, U.S. rating outlook lowered to negative by Moody's. Here's why consumers should be ready. So if you can recall, we did a special report on banks. Are they stealing your money? So should you be worried? They're holding your money, and we went through a plethora of examples as to, the current situation happening with individuals across the country. Their accounts being frozen and scrutinized for false accusations of fraud. And now here it is, Moody's, the top credit rating organization of the world, has downgraded the United States bank. So it says, the United States government. And in another article, we're going to talk about how they have downgraded some banks as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Moody's, a leading risk management agency, has lowered the United States government credit rating outlook from stable to negative, citing political polarization in Congress. A country's credit rating is similar to an individual credit score. It evaluates how likely an agency believes, the government is able to pay back its debt obligation. A negative assessment can impact stock prices and interest rates on consumer financial products. Moody's still assigns the U.S. the highest AAA credit rating, though it is only one of the three main rating agencies to do so. In August, Fitch rating Fitch rating downgraded the government's long-term credit rating from AAA to AA plus. Standard & Poor's lowered its credit score to AA plus back in 2011 after an earlier debt ceiling crisis. It says here, if Moody's changes the U.S. actual credit rating rather than just its outlook, the government may be unable to borrow as much money or would have to accept a less desirable interest rate. That could affect the ability to pay government workers and provide critical services like Social Security. CNBC Select explains what caused this latest adjustment and how it could affect consumers. Moody's attributed its shift in outlook to declining fiscal stability, as exemplified by the government risking a default on its debt this summer after Congress failed to raise the debt ceiling. There was also a threat of government shutdown, which President Biden narrowly avoided by signing a 45-day funding bill on October 1st. The same month, Republican Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, was ousted via a no confidence vote, the first in U.S. history. That it took weeks to elect his replacement. It took weeks to elect his replacement. Also factored into Moody's lowered outlook. So basically, I guess what this article is saying, that United States credit rating is being lowered due to the fact that people in Congress can't seem to get together and come to a reasonable, I guess, budget for the year. And so right now, I do believe that they have until sometime in January to revisit this story. They managed to avoid the government shutdown, but from the standpoint of Moody's, they're saying you guys are unstable. Remember, they said it was going to downgrade them from stable to negative, and that could affect individuals on Social Security as well as our federal government workers. And a lot of us are in those positions. And so I want to switch to this article here. Let's see. Not that article. Oh, where did it go? Oh, let's just go ahead and bring in Major for his report, as it is similar to what we're talking about. And so I'll let Major go ahead and set that up in his special reporting.
Good day, positive vibrations. How you doing, sister?
I can't complain. Glad you're in the building with us.
We wanted to do a part 2 to our bank stealing money from you, and as you already reported about Moody ratings of banks and what have you, it's becoming very alarming. And the funny part about it is, typically be a real scare, but seems like things are acting like it's real normal when it's really not. But we gonna play this video. We talk about the different hidden fees and all the fees that's coming out your pocket, and how banks are literally just taking your money in and every way. Sometimes, like the Navy Federals, they'll hold up for you with that overdraft fee. If you let it just sit there for so many days, like let's say you overdraft a day, and tomorrow it's still overdraft. If you probably got a day or two, probably 3 will be pushing it, because all of them always do that. Sometimes they give another chance to pay it within a day or two, and some people immediately attach it to it.
Now I remember reading an article that said that I guess it was the Consumer Protection Agency sued the banks for excessive overdraft fees. Like, because they were charging more than one overdraft fee on the same monies. On that, let's say for $50, they charge you $25 overdraft, and then if you don't clear it up in a certain amount of days, they'll charge you another overdraft fee for this on the same money.
I mean, banks been cruel, been wicked, been very bad towards the community. And you know what's so sad? Each time they get bailed out, because they're gonna probably get bailed out now. I've been thinking about that, right? Now that the government give them so many billions of dollars, right? Among the top banks that need it, and probably some smaller banks, just to save the economy, you know what I'm saying? And save the so-called people of this country, citizens of the country. But the problem is, and this where it's been called out, the banks get all that money but won't forgive you for your loans,
That's
and
right.
that's the problem. They've been forgiven by the government, but they don't want to be forgiven, right? So we still got to carry over. That's when they was talking about when COVID, when they was giving all that money to the banks or whatever, and they was talking about they're gonna look out for Wall Street but not Main Street. Wall Street being the big business, the big banks, and Main Street being the overall public, and that's the issue that we're dealing with, in this country. It's like it's very unfair that when you're going through something, whereas you can't pay your bills, your credit being hit and what have you, you gotta fight tooth and nail to remove stuff in your credit, clean your credit up, gonna be paying so many thousands of dollars to get it done if you're not doing it yourself, to a credit repair company. And then at the same time, when you apply for loans with these very banks of credit, they're refusing to help you when they got help from the government. And it's just unfair. And the playing ground is so unequal. That's why you lobbyists and whatnot that be being paid off by banks and big business that go into Congress and get laws passed and what have you. It's sad. The lobbyists and whatnot is sad where they got it set up, whereas the big people won't get help, but the small people won't. And that's just a sad. That's just a sad shame.
You said something that was very interesting. You said that the banks will be bailed out. According to what I've been researching, they're not going to bail the banks out in the way that they did before by giving thousands of dollars and millions of dollars to them. They're going to be bailed out with a new system. It's called digital banking. And so then that's when they're to me is almost, and this is just my opinion, they want the banks to fail so they can introduce that cashless society and force the cashless society on people. Because if you have a bank account right now and the banks fail, FDIC is supposed to make you whole up to $250,000. But if the government don't have the money, then they can't come bail you out. And we already know, like we said before in the previous podcast, the Moody's have downgraded the bank. Has downgraded the United States credit rating from stable to negative. So remember, we read before about FDIC that you have to put your full trust and your full trust and faith in the federal government to insure your money. But if the federal government don't have money, then how can they insure your money? So when you say they're going to be bailed out, they're not going to be bailed out in the way that we think as far as petrodollar. They're going to be bailed out with a digital system. They're already trying to move us faster to a cashless society. Going to places and they don't even have change, so they tell you supposedly not have coins. It's a coin shortage again. We heard this before, but they trying to force you not to use cash dollars because it's in a minute, in my opinion, it's not going to be a such thing as a dollar bill. It's going to be all digital. You're going to need to have a debit card.
Well, it's been digital for the last some odd years.
But people still pay with cash, though, is what I'm saying.
I understand
I'm saying moving completely towards a cashless society.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, but we already like 70-80% already digital. We already there. The cash is this much. I'm just trying to. I mentioned that last time we spoke. Not on the. I think not the video we did on part one. I'm talking about. We've been digital. We've been well informed. We just haven't accepted it because cash transactions still taking place, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But my point is, regardless of all that, the banks will be bailed out. That's my whole point. In the end, we're gonna be the ones stuck with even when they convert it and what have you. How they gonna address this problem with how we managing our so-called money and debt and what have you personally? Because they're still individualizing people in reference to their problems. You know what I'm saying? And even if you go in their system, they're gonna still have a system They're gonna have a check and balance. Now, as far as that's concerned, I think that when COVID came out, a lot of stuff like that kind of was coming to the forefront. When people like, oh, they're trying to make it one government, one currency, and all this, that, and other, right? That was being pushed out there. And like I
Mhm.
said, it's not something new. People know. I think people don't know what to expect because government is such great liars. You know what I'm saying? And promote propaganda is just not healthy for our community, and not just our community, for the people abroad. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So for me, I just feel like whatever happens, and the small man on feel it more than the big man, the big people. You know?
That's right, because we
Yeah. That back and forth with you and I had about the big banks versus the little people. I don't know why I keep popping on the screen. I apologize for that. Um, that's what we trying to bring to the forefront. How banks are failing. How fiat currency is being exposed, and the fact that the rating from Moody shows or prove we saying right, and then people are clamoring to take their money out. And as we already know, people are probably defaulting on loans, credit cards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things going on. And we already know what Biden talking about, the credit rating system they're trying to set up with the government and so forth, so on. And you spoke about the currency and one government, currency and all this stuff here. My special reporting about this basically is we have to open our eyes, and we have to understand that it's so bigger than some of the things we may argue about and fuss about in our community. It's huge. It's very, very huge. There is things going on in our community that we have to address, but there are things that's dealing with our economical welfare, and how we gonna survive. Because I'm thinking big, and I'm thinking along the lines of a populace. You know what I'm saying? If there was a World War III and nukes be flying everywhere, and we see be like world warriors back in the day, like how we gonna survive? How we gonna trade? How we gonna do this, that, and other? And I think until we understand what's really going on and what's being exposed to us, I think we're gonna really be so caught off guard if something do happen.
yeah, that's why we're here to let people know, sound the alarm, sound the trumpet, let people know that this is happening. Now, I did manage to find that other article about Moody's downgrading the actual banks themselves to the same outlook that they gave the United States, and I find that very, very alarming because basically what they're saying is the United States don't have good credit, and now the banks don't have good credit. So y'all see that on the screen right there, and that is a recent article. This article came out a week ago, and it says Bank of America, J.P. Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo shares shrugged off Moody's outlook cut to negative from stable. So in other words, they were still doing good with their stock, and that's perplexing to me. But I think that is all people, they're gearing up to more move into that digital currency world. Moody's Investors Service cut its rating outlook to negative from stable on Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and Wells Fargo. But the stocks rallied on Tuesday on the heels of a tame inflation data. Meanwhile, bond prices of banks also climbed dramatically as yields fell. And in another bullish move for the sector, we have to say, see chart below. But Moody's negative outlook on the bank debt reflects the potential weaker capacity of the government of the United States of America to support the U.S.'s systematically important banks. So we were talking about that bailout, Major. So what was your initial reaction when we learned about the news that not only is the United States being downgraded, but also the banks? What was your
I
initial
mean,
reaction to that?
I've been a person on School of Thought of Rob Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad and several other books. He been speaking about that like 20, 30 years ago. he was talking about the fiat currency, the government, banks, and et cetera, right? And for me, it was just a long time coming. And I think the biggest thing about once you notice how you prepare yourself, right? And how you basically manage to deal with it. And sometimes it's not easy when you have all the resources and what have you, and you're surviving day to day. But for me, when I heard about it, I just wasn't surprised. It's just a very alarming considering we look at all the ethnic groups in the United States, we at the very bottom, and we suffering in every market, from housing, from unemployment, from healthcare, etc. So for me, I'm more concerned about us because we're still fighting over a lot of things that I'm not gonna say trivia, but a lot of things is not as important as some of the things that's really standing out to us, right? And I think when we put our attention too much on this or over here and not looking at the vast situation and then narrowing down to we need to focus on right now. And the biggest issue that we have failed to do is address our economical situation in this country, So for me, I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And I'm more concerned about our people and what they may have to go through as this crisis grow and what have you. And as we spoke about it on the part two, our bank stealing money from you, that they'll bail out the banks, you know what I'm saying, before they'll even look out for us. When it come out of the banks, anybody dealing with us, it's gonna be like bring us to tooth and nail, going to our credit and blah blah. Despite hardship we may have been going through financially, right? Job loss, debt in the family, health issues, they're gonna look past that. So for me, I am like, I mean, I'm in somewhat awe because as much as I say I'm not surprised, it is kind of coming. The reality of knowing it's coming to the reality of knowing it's coming to life. It's kind of scary. It's kind of
Well,
scary.
we're living in those days right now. We're definitely living in those days where we have to start thinking about our future and how we're moving financially. I know I am not a lover of money, but I do understand that it takes money to make money, and also you need money in order to survive in this society. So, with that being said, I think that we all should be taking a better look at our financial situation and diversifying in some tangibles. To learn more about what we discussed in part two, please visit Major TV Let's Talk on YouTube, as well as News, Facts, and Comments on YouTube, as well as Generational Wealth Builder. You got 3 different channels where you can go to hear two on Our Bank Stealing Your Money. So with that, Major, I want to thank you so much for coming through. If you want to stick around for other news stories, you can. Uh, yeah, but we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving to the next news story.
I'm gonna be in the background, but I'm gonna still check it out though. If you need me, just put me up.
Yes, sir, will do.
All right, thanks, sis.
All right, family. So we're gonna get back to our next news story, and this news story comes by way of Instagram as well. Sister of mine sent this story over to me, and I found it quite alarming, considering the fact that there's rumors of another pandemic that's about to break out. They got a record number of people with pneumonia. There's some mysterious disease or infection that's taking over and killing animals. And so when I heard this um, story on Instagram, I was taken aback. I didn't even know that this was happening. And basically, what it is family, that they are injecting animals with the ingredients that make up the COVID-19 vaccination. So in Tennessee, there was a House bill that actually got passed and moved on to the Senate, where it is still awaiting full approval. But I want to read the summary of what that bill is and what it entails. It says here, this bill prohibits additional conduct under the Tennessee Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act as described below. The Tennessee Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act classifies the following acts and the causing of the following acts as Class C misdemeanors. The manufacture, sale, or delivery, holding, or offering for a sale of food, drug, device, or cosmetic that is adulterated or misbranded. The adulteration of misbranding of a food, drug, device, or cosmetic. The receipt of food, drug, device, or cosmetic that is altered or misbranded, and delivery of delivery or pro offered delivery for any food, drug, or device or cosmetic that is unadulterated or misbranded for pay or otherwise. Basically, what this is saying that if you are caught distributing food, cosmetics, or any type of medication without the proper branding or proper notification to the citizens, you will be fined as a corporation. And you know, we have to face this head on and realize what it is. We are consuming products and we have no idea what's in it. So down at the bottom, it says that this bill defines vaccine, a vaccine material, as a substance intended for the use in humans to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against disease, prepared from the causative agent of a disease, its products, or a synthetic substitute treated to as an antigen without inducing the disease, that is authorized or approved by the United States Food and Drug Administration. So this is quite disturbing because, like, I didn't even know that they were pumping the food up with vaccines. Is that what we're doing in this area? So if you haven't agreed to take the vaccination, then they're going to just force it on you by way of your food. I think that's very, 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 very disturbing. This is the actual bill itself. And like I said, it has not been approved yet. It's in the Senate. But it says the manufacturer, sale, or delivery, holding, or offering for sale any food that contains a vaccine material, unless the food labeling contains conspicuous notification of the presence of the vaccine or vaccine material in the food. So that means if they're having to make a bill to force these people to label these foods, then that means they were doing it for some time. Like, this just didn't start. They're already doing this. Now it's coming in and say, hey, well, particularly in Tennessee. So that's just one state out of 50. So do other states have these type of bills working their way through Congress to be approved by the governor? Here's an article: vaccines and food. Tennessee bill will require clear labeling. Why do we have to require clear labeling? Why are they doing this? You have to ask yourself, why are they doing this? So we have no idea. It says here that the bill could be discussed at the House Agriculture meeting on February 14th. And I did research on it, and it didn't show that this bill has made it to the floor for final vote. So that means that in the meantime, in between time, these meat production companies can continue to put the vaccine in the food without you even being aware of it. That's effectively what that means. Let me know your comments on this, family, because I find it quite disturbing, but I would really like to know what you all think. Once again, thank you all for joining us this evening on News, Facts, and Comments Sunday Wrap Session, where we break down all the news that was making headlines this past week. So moving on, many of you know this guy. And if you don't know, Akoti will tell you. This is Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin was arrested and jailed or sent to prison for putting his neck on George Floyd. I'm sorry, putting his knee on George Floyd's neck. Every time I see this dude, I just get all discombobulated because the evilness that I seen permeating from his face. And right now, I can't even stand to look at him. But this individual, Derek Chauvin, was stabbed while he was in federal prison. Derek Chauvin's family, in their gratitude for his stable condition, are disappointed in the prison officials. The clan is said to be upset that they found out about their incarcerated son's stabbing through the media rather than from prison authorities. News about the ex-cop stabbing by another inmate first surfaced on Saturday, November 25th. Derek is serving a nearly 21-year sentence for violating George Floyd's civil rights. So he was found guilty in civil court, not criminal court. Interesting. Derek Chauvin's loved ones are furious at prison officials for their silence. Members of the Chauvin inner circle have experienced their outrage at learning of their beloved one's incident in the prison from the U.S. media. Speaking explicitly during a recent interview, Derek's mother, Caroline Paulenti, said, "How the hell do these news agencies know in his mind? He's in his own mother doesn't even know." Well, that's not no big surprise to members of my community, because they slay us and beat us and torment us in prison all the time, and no one ever knows about it until the individual is well enough to write a letter and send it home, or someone put some money on their accounts, and then that's how you learn of it. It never makes the news. So I guess I say Crimea River. So moving on to our next story, I'm going to share this tab instead. So I'm sure by now you guys have heard about a young man that was beat up by his fellow classmates behind a vape pen. This all took place over a vape pen, and this young man was beaten to death. And I hate to say it, we were involved in 4 of these young men that was involved in this attack, in this killing. They will face a criminal charge on the adult level. They're going to be tried as adults. So their whole career is just ruined. Father of Jonathan Lewis, Las Vegas teen beaten to death outside school, says his attackers were possessed by hate. The father of a Las Vegas teen beaten to death outside his school said his son's attackers were possessed by hate. Jonathan Lewis Jr. died last Tuesday after spending 6 days on life support, according to the Las Vegas Review-Journal. The 17-year-old student death was declared to have been due to complications of multiple blunt force injuries, according to Clark County coroner. So this right here is a picture of the young man. On November 1st, police responded to a physical altercation involving Lewis and 15 assailants outside Rancho High School. A news release stated school staff performed CPR on Lewis, who was then transported to the hospital in critical condition. He died on November 7th. This is what the father had to say. There are some things that were being stolen from him, as we understand it, and he went to kind of defend him. The 3 of them kind of attacked him, he said, according to the TV station there, and they couldn't beat him up. So the rest of the group joined in. Oh, that's a lot for him to know, and he wasn't even there. Right. So the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said it's actively investigating this incident in a GoFundMe campaign organized to help the teen's family with emergency expenses. Loved ones described Lewis Jr. as a devoted big brother and heart of a champion. My heart goes out to the family. I know that could be a grievous thing, but as far as donating, I'm going to leave that to others to do, because as of right now, I have something else I would like to donate to, and I'm going to go ahead and show you just what I want you all to donate to as we take this quick 1-minute commercial break.
Hey, shalom, everybody. What's going on? Y'all know it's y'all brother Ozone, man. I just want to send y'all my love. You know what I'm saying? And just tell y'all thank y'all for riding with me. For those who have been connected to me, you know what I'm saying, through the JPay system and stuff, man. Y'all, you know, big shout out to y'all. But I want to let y'all know, man, I love everybody who's been riding with me, who's been pushing forward, you know, helping me get through this situation. I want to encourage y'all to just keep standing with me. I'll be able to talk to y'all through this here and now, so y'all be on the lookout.
Okay, family, we're back. Oh, yes, we are leading. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Let me stop that video. Let me stop that. Okay, so we're back now officially. So you seen there, we're still trying to raise funds for Otho Wallace, and his appeal has been filed, and so it's time for us to ramp up our donations. Go to otho.org. Go to otho.org to make your donations. There it is at the bottom of the screen. Donate to Otho Wallace at otho.org. So I thank you in advance for donating. Okay, so we're going to move right along to our other news stories. And let's see here. So let's talk about the federal appeals court that's packed with conservative judges. So just last week, a federal appeals court dealt a major blow to what we consider the Civil Rights Act by ruling that private plaintiffs can't sue for violations under the Voting Rights Act. Now, I want y'all to wrap your head around that, you know, you as an individual cannot sue if you feel like your right to vote was violated. Washington Associated Press reports a divided federal appeals court on Monday ruled that private individuals and groups such as the NAACP do not have the ability to sue under a key section of the Federal Voting Rights Act, a decision that contradicts decades of precedent and could further erode protections under the landmark 1965 law. The 2-1 decision by a panel of 8th Circuit Court of Appeals based in St. Louis found that only the U.S. Attorney General can enforce Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, which requires political maps to include districts where minority populations preferred candidates can win elections. The majority said other federal laws, including the 1964 Civil Rights Act, make it clear when private groups can sue, but said similar wording is not found in the voting law. Wow, they are really stretching it and their idea of comparing the two sections of those laws to justify basically trying to discriminate against people that they claim are the minority. When those details are missing, it is not our place to fill in the gaps, except when text or structure require it. U.S. Circuit Judge David R. Strauss wrote for the majority in an opinion joined by Judge Raymond W. Grutner. Strauss was nominated by former President Donald Trump and Grutner by former President George W. Bush. The decision affirmed a lower judge decision to dismiss a case brought by the Arkansas State Conference of NAACP and the Arkansas Public Policy Panel after giving the U.S. Attorney General Merrick B. Garland 5 days to join the suit. Chief Judge Levinsky R. Smith noted in a dissenting opinion that federal courts across the country and the Supreme Court have considered numerous cases brought by private plaintiffs under Section 2. Smith said the court should follow existing precedents that permits a judicial remedy unless the Supreme Court or Congress decides differently. Rights so foundational to government and citizenship should not depend solely on the discretion or availability of a government's agents for protection, wrote Smith, an appointee who was appointed by George W. Bush. So this is very concerning because these states, all these different states have different governors, and those different governors can decide what legislation will be passed and which legislation won't be passed. And we already know how they do their great job of gerrymandering so that minority communities and areas do not have as much political power at the voting box. So this is why this is very disturbing. You're not going to have any recourse if you participate in voting and the cards are stacked against you because candidates are already selected, but they're not selected from your communities. So do you really have a choice in who you vote for? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that is why it's very imperative if you are still participating in this voting process, that you make your voices be heard with your congressional members, House of Representatives and senators in your individual states, because I got a feeling this, by what this appeals court has just done, they're set a new precedent. They didn't go by the previous Supreme Court precedent. They set a new precedent by saying that individuals cannot sue. You have to have the Attorney General sue on your behalf. So to read more on all these stories, I implore you, please go to newsfactsnc.net, where you can read about those stories plus others. So now I want to switch gears to Mr. Elon Musk and his whole Nazi controversy that he started with this gentleman that seems to me was minding his own business, but because Elon Musk have some popularity, his voice, whenever he tweets, his voice is heard worldwide and people pay attention. And because of that, this young man, college student or college graduate, is suing Elon Musk over statements made on social media. Ben Brody says his life was going fine. He had just finished college, stayed out of trouble, and was prepping for law school. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Elon Musk used his considerable social media clout to amplify an online mob's misguided rants, accusing the 22-year-old from California of being an undercover agent in a neo-Nazi group. The claim, Brody told CNN, was as bizarre as it is baseless. But the fact he bore a vague resemblance to a person allegedly in the group, that he was Jewish, and that he once stated in a college fraternity profile posted online that he aspired to one day work for the government, was more than enough information for the internet strolls to falsely conclude Brody was an undercover government agent, a Fed, planted inside the neo-Nazi group to make them look bad. Now, I want y'all to understand what they just said. He was a government agent. He was trying to sound the alarm that he could be a government agent that was planted inside a neo-Nazi group to make the neo-Nazi group look bad. That just don't even make sense to me. I'm gonna need somebody to help me out. So, neo-Nazi groups, the mere fact that you're in a neo-Nazi group, are you considered that a good thing, or is that considered a bad thing? It says here that Brody filed a defamation lawsuit last month against Elon Musk, the owner of X, formerly known as Twitter. The suit seeks damages in excess of $1 million. Brody says he wants the billionaire to apologize and retract the false claims about him. Said Brody lawyer, who is the same attorney who successfully sued conspiracy theorist Alex Jones over his lies about Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre, said he hopes the suit will force one of the world's richest and most powerful men to reckon his careless and harmful online behavior. This case strikes at the heart of something that I think is going really wrong in this country, attorney Mark Bankston said in an interview with CNN. how powerful people, very influential people, are being far too reckless about the things that they say about private people, people just trying to go about their lives who've done nothing to cause the attention. They asked Elon Musk's attorneys for a response, and they said we expect the case to be dismissed. Musk lawyers have until January 5th, 2024 to file their response in court. So, Mr. Elon Musk is, can we say that he's a Jewish Nazi? Does that even, is that like a, is that like an oxymoron? A Jewish Nazi? I thought the Nazis were the ones that didn't like Jews. So that's kind of weird. Sort of like that Hitler was a Jew, but then he was a Nazi, put people in concentration camps. You know, it's really deep. It's really deep, but I'm gonna let them have it. I'm just reporting the news. Okay, let's move on to our segment called Black Excellence. Let's see here. I love these stories. These are my feel-good stories. When I see things, the stories such as these, it makes my heart smile. So for some reason, they don't want me to share that. There you go. Here we go. I'm going to share this tab. So look at this. Mom and 9-year-old daughter, owners of own doll company, make history with Target and Amazon. There they are. There are the two, plus the little doll there. She looks so ethnically right. So I love when I hear stories like this. It's a feel-good story. This is what you call Black excellence. So let's just read a little bit about this. In a remarkable journey from Oprah's coveted list of Target's expansive aisles, Argene Bees, a thriving Black-owned doll company founded by 9-year-old Issa Argene and her mother, Melissa, continues to soar to new heights. Recognized as one of there we go. But didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen, you guys. So that part, now I'm sharing. So let's go back so you guys can see the two and the doll. So this is the article that was written up. So they made the list. This doll made the list of Oprah's favorite things. And Argene Bees has now expanded its partnership with Target, making waves with the addition of the entire Newbie plush baby doll collection in stores online. Listen, my friends, you don't have to wait until that Christmas day to go out and purchase this baby doll and contribute to helping Black businesses by, you know, spreading the word as well. I know a couple of us might have some short leggers that we know that can maybe need this doll, use this doll, enjoy this doll. So Oprah Winfrey's endorsement catapulted Argene B's Baby Bee collection in the limelight, creating a buzz around the brand and drawing attention to its commitment to diversity and representation. The Newbie plush baby doll collection, known for its inclusivity and cultural richness, has found a home on Target shelves, bringing joy to children of all backgrounds. So not only can you get it at Target, you can also buy it on Amazon. So that is beautiful. Congratulations to this family. And that is what I call Black excellence. So dealing and going back to our dear friend Kanye West, once again, not quite sure if you guys, story came out morning actually, and I wanted to go ahead and share it with you because I think brother Kanye is going to be back in the limelight once again, and it's not positive. It is negative. So they say, okay. Kanye West come fire for dancing to his new anti-Semitic at a party with Chris Brown and in Dubai. Now, they have already labeled it an anti-Semitic track, so that means that more people are going to go and listen to it just to see if it's really anti-Semitic. But we already discussed that definition of anti-Semitic. So what exactly are they trying to do with Kanye West? Kanye West has been on the receiving end of substantial backlash since the release of his latest single, Vultures, which was released on Wednesday. Now the rapper is getting criticized for rocking and gyrating to the song alongside his collaborator Ty Dolla $ign, Chris Brown, Bum J, and others at a party in Dubai where he was united with his wife Bianca Censori following her recent trip to see family in Australia. In the video, the group can be seen rocking out as a controversial line. How am I anti-Semitic? I just F your Jewish B, played loudly over the speakers. Wow. Kanye has that in his song, that line in his song. Really? The clip has gone viral on social media and the criticism has been fast and furious. You're disgusting, one upset critic wrote. So that is of him. I guess that's his new wife in Dubai rocking out. Yeah, he's back at it again with this anti-Semitic bullcrap. So they say it is anti-Semitic. Should we watch it? I haven't seen the video, so I don't know if all of you have seen it. So let's
Anti-Semitic, I just fucked the Jewish bitch. I just fucked the Scooter's bitch and we ran up like the live.
Okay, so yeah. I thought that Kanye was a little bit more creative than that, but if he wanted attention, he definitely is gonna receive it because you know them people don't play. So that's for our brother and hope he's gonna be safe in the end after this all is washed. Is here. Kanye West dropped a new song, Vultures, first track since anti-Semitic meltdown ruined his career. So if he was trying to make a comeback in a world of entertainment where the music entertainment is mainly controlled by them deaf folks, I think that's probably going to be an epic failure. Although he may gain more popularity or he may be able to make money because it is so controversial. You know, us as a people, we just gravitate to controversy. That's the sad part, but it's so true. So moving on to positive news, I think maybe allegedly a snap. I don't know now since the Moody's has downgraded the outcast for these banks to negative. I don't know how long this so-called huge boost to the housing industry is going to last, but this did make news 5 days ago, so I want to share it with you all. And just in case you're in the mood to purchase a home and stop paying high rent, home buyers receive a huge boost. The drop in mortgage rates, which have now fallen for 3 consecutive weeks, is good for news for home buyers who have been struggling for years in the affordability of property across the country. An expert has told Newsweek the 30-year fixed rate for most popular mortgage among American borrowers fell to an average of 7.44% in the week ending November 16. Last Thursday down from 7.5% the week before. Now, I can tell you guys that is still substantially high and makes a great big of a difference as to how the affordability of a home, because not only are you paying that 7.44 interest rate on the balance of the home, but you also have to take in consideration that insurance rates are increasing, homeowners insurance rates are increasing, on top of property taxes are increasing. So those two factors added to the mortgage rate or the mortgage loan at a rate of 7.44 may not provide as much release as this article want to say to the average person. I would even say middle class person, as far as making homes more affordable. So the 15-year fixed rate mortgage averaged 6.76%, down from the previous week when it was 6.81. Now, I remember when I got into real estate in 2006, the average interest rate was 6%. So we're not even close to what that average was prior to what we could say the 2008 the whole mortgage debacle, right? So it said for the third straight week, mortgage rates trended down as new data indicates that inflationary measures are receding. So yeah, the combination of continued economic strength, lower inflation, and lower mortgage rates should likely bring more potential home buyers into the market. I'm just saying good luck with that because it is still extremely expensive to purchase a home right now. You must be you must have a good amount of reserves to pay for the insurance premium and to pay for the taxes, at least 3 months of reserve on that, plus your down payment. And that can be, and then with the rising cost, the rising home loans, the for sale bill that comes on these homes these days, even on existing homes, it's way up. So now that the buyers are looking at a boost in lower interest rates, now sellers are going to have to do some compromising and get off their high horse and not expecting so much return on their investment, because right now we're looking at stagnation across the country as far as home sales on existing homes. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out in the wash. And for me, once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in to News, Facts, and Comments. If you all have a story that you think that we need to bring attention to, please email us at newsfactc@gmail.com, or you could just leave your comment down below on this video. Remember to like the video if you think the information that we shared here is newsworthy and will help someone improve their life. Don't forget to check out part 2 of Are the Banks Stealing Your Money on all of our platforms, Major TV, Let's Talk, Generational Wealth Building, and of course, News, Facts, and Comments. Like and subscribe the video if you like, and share the video if you will. And if you haven't already subscribed to our channels, please do so, as we're going to start ramping up come the first of the year, bringing you breaking news stories, as well as continuing to do our Sunday rap sessions and interviews with individuals, so that you guys can always be in the know when it comes to what's going on in the world. So with that being said, I am Okoti Telmore for News, Facts, and Comments in conjunction with Major TV. And that's a wrap. Shalom.